Zimmerman Industries volumetric mixers are designed to provide years of dependable service with a minimal amount of maintenance. There are two levels of required service. These are daily and weekly. This chart lists the two categories, identifies the item to be serviced, the type of service called for, and the quantity of the service points. Additionally, the items are numbered. These numbers are used to show where each is located on the unit. We will begin by going over the daily maintenance items. Item number 1 is the material feed idler shaft. It is marked daily, calls for grease to be applied, and states that there are 2 grease points. There are 2 of these shafts, one for each of the material feed chains. They are used to maintain the proper tension for each chain. Each shaft is pressed into a bronze bushing, which must be greased daily to avoid premature wear. The grease fitting is located toward the outside of the unit on each of the 2 shafts. Grease is pumped into the fitting until it is seen coming out around the shaft. Item number 2 is the auger slinger disc seals. The slinger disc seals are located within the coupler that attaches the auger motor to the auger shaft. These are rubber and are used to keep the water and slurry from leaking out. Grease is applied daily or every 4 hours if used continuously, and keeps the seals from drying out and shrinking. The grease point is on the housing containing the seals. The auger may be turning while applying the grease, ensuring complete coverage. If this area is not greased, the seals will overheat from friction and prematurely wear out. This will cause spillage at the rear of the auger and subsequently change the nature of the material being produced. The next 2 items concern the pneumatic system. We utilize air pressure to operate the vibrators, deliver liquid admixtures, open the water control valve, and release the auger latch. The first item to be serviced is the water separator. This is drained daily by opening the bleed valve at the bottom of the bowl. This is done to prevent moisture from contaminating the air-actuated components and causing corrosion. The next item is the oiler. This device adds a controlled amount of oil to the air lines that feed the vibrators. This is checked daily and filled as needed. The recommended fluid is air tool oil. To add oil to this component, first shut off the airflow to the oiler by closing the ball valve that feeds the air tree. Next, the bleed valve at the bottom of the water separator is opened to drain all of the air out of the unit. Once this is done, the bowl is unscrewed from the housing and oil added. The bowl is reinstalled and air supply turned back on. The hydraulic oil reservoir is located on the deck of the unit and has a sight glass on one end. The recommended level of oil is 75% of the glass. If the oil is filled to the top, it may overfill when all hydraulic cylinders are collapsed and the system is at operating temperature. If oil is not visible in the glass, damage to the hydraulic pump may occur. The recommended oil is a hydraulic oil of at least AW number 46. The oil is added through the fill, located at the top of the reservoir. The last item on the daily list is the power chute pivot. The power chute is an option, and only units so equipped have this additional maintenance point. The pivot point is located at the discharge end of the auger and has 2 grease fittings, one on each side. These are filled daily to ensure smooth movement of the chutes. The next section to look at is the weekly maintenance items. If the unit is being used continuously, these should be done every 40 hours. The first item is the shutter door linkage. The dispensing of aggregates is controlled by adjusting the opening at the end of the bin. The doors are moved up and down to specific settings. The linkage between the handle and the door has 3 grease fittings, and these are filled to ensure free movement of the handles. The material feed sprockets are located at the rear or discharge end of the unit. There are 2 of these, each with 1 grease fitting. The fittings are located on the face of the sprocket that is toward the outside of the unit. These are greased so that when the sprocket is disengaged by removing the locking pin, it will spin freely on the material feed shaft. Next is the swing ring. This is located at the rear or discharge end of the unit. There are 4 grease fittings on this ring, located 90 degrees apart. These are greased to aid in the smooth movement of the auger and to displace any water or material buildup in this area. The auger lift pivot is located at the rear or discharge end of the unit. There are 2 grease fittings which are filled to displace moisture and aid in ease of movement. The cement bin clutch is located on the passenger side of the unit under a hinged cover. There is 1 grease fitting on this sprocket, and it is lubricated so that the clutch may be disengaged easily. The shaft should also be coated with anti-seize at this time. If your unit has more than 1 cement sprocket or pozzolon bin, each of these must be done at the same interval. Note that all flanged bearings are sealed and are designed to be greased only at 6-month intervals. For information about any items not covered here, consult your owner's manual or contact Zimmerman Industries Service Department.